Hello everybody, my name is Daniel Richardson and I'm the WCPW review guy, and literally time is running out to get the Easter Bunny somehow put into a storyline. It's next week. Easter's next week. Don't screw us over. Come on now, do it. And anyways, this is the WCPW State of Emergency review, and I just don't know which way's up anymore. I really don't. So many questions that have been left unanswered. And let's just jump into it, shall we? First off, we got our commentating team of Matt Striker and Jim Cornette. Thought they both did a great job. However, there were certain things throughout the night, which I'll point out once we get to them, which wasn't necessarily their fault, I don't think. I think this is probably they weren't prepared. Once again, I don't know the insides and outs of commentating, so I don't know if there are certain things that maybe they should be handed to, like, hey, you should know this. But like I said, I'll get to those little instances. But overall, I think they both did a great job. Like I said, Matt Striker's phenomenal, and I always like Jim Cornette on commentary. Like I said, I think he was a better fit than Jim Ross was, in just my opinion. So even though I did miss, I'm going through withdrawals. I need Shane, I need Bradshaw, but Striker and Cornette, damn good team right there. It really was. So I was also glad that the crowd was alive, pumped. That was the thing I was really worried about. Anything else, like, I was just like, man, I really hope this American crowd does not just completely sandbag the entire thing. No, they did the one falls, which I was really happy about. I think the only thing they didn't do that the other crowds do is the whenever Kirby has the hanging vertical suplex, delayed vertical suplex, and you hear the one dickhead, two dickhead. They didn't do that. They just counted 1, 2, and I was just like, wait, what? But that's okay. Once again, it is on point with everything else. So there it is. So let's get to. Oh, I will say that production-wise. Now, once again, I know they're in another country. They probably didn't have all their normal stuff, but it was like the most generic set ever. The fact that it was like in a gymnasium, they call it like a sports arena. I was like, come on, it's a gymnasium. Let's not kid ourselves. We know we're in some high school right now. Just a plain black tarp, not even tarp, like this fabric, just black fabric hung up in your entrance ramp, and that was it. That was their entire set, which I was like, really? We could have made up a couple of state of emergency posters, maybe? No, nothing. Just black tarp. So it had a very house show feel to it. At least the look of it did. But once again, they're in another country altogether. I'm not gonna bust balls. Plus it's WrestleMania weekend. I'm sure they were out doing other stuff as well. So won't bust too much balls there. So let's get to the actual show, shall we? And as everything, dude, there was no. That was the other thing that was so weird, because it's like, okay, I know kayfabe wise, the commentators have a paper in front of them that tell them like what's up on the schedule next and whatnot. And I know when there's a special appearance or whatever, it can throw them off. And I'm not sure the ins and outs. I've never actually sat behind a commentator booth. I don't know, so I don't know how it actually works. I'm still marking that context right there. However, there was no Titantron, or whatever the hell they call their screen, the What Culturetron. So every time music would hit, both Cornette and Striker was like, I don't know who this is. I'm like, really? Like, it doesn't say on your paper there? Like, up next should be this guy? So every time any music hit at all, they're just kind of like, well, I don't know what's going on here. Who's this person? Oh, of course it's this guy. And I'm like, really? Anyways, the first match, BT Gunn versus Martin Kirby. Solid match right here. I really dug it. Crowd alive for this one. Like, man, I think the first two matches, especially, the crowd was super pumped for. And don't get me wrong, they never really died out throughout the night. They were still pumped at the end. But I feel like these first two matches, man, the crowd was just going nuts. Like, completely going apeshit. Damn good match right here. Kirby picks up the win with the Sable Bomb. I just want to see him hit a Zoidberg elbow drop. That's it. I thought tonight was going to be the night. I was like, is this it? He's going to hit the Zoidberg? No, none of that. None of that at all. So, either way, though, Kirby wins. I will say it's really odd. The Prestige don't really do a whole lot of interfering for each other. I don't know if it's just like, we're all good. We don't need to cheat for each other. You got this, right? Because, like, Kirby has picked up 2 singles wins now, and I just expected to see others run in there. That's the other thing, though. Not all the Prestige was there tonight. Only BT Gunn and Hendry was there. Banks and Coffee stayed back in the UK. So, little personal disappointment there, but it's all right. I mean, once again, we had enough star power here, I think, to pull us through. But yeah, no, Kirby picks up the win. Fair. I mean, it was a good match, but it's like, man, really? Like, no one else jumped in on this thing? But yeah, it is what it is, I guess, and Kirby picks up another win. So then Blompier comes out. I'm calling him Blompier until he's officially Plumpy or whatever on WCPW TV. But until that day, he's Blompier. But he comes out and we find out right off the bat that the audio is horrible. And I'm not sure if they was having audio problems there as well, or if it was just for us at home. They don't have good microphones like I do. But no, it was really awkward, but they added subtitles, which I was thinking that was another thing I was really glad it wasn't live, because honestly, I couldn't hear half the shit some of them were saying. Like, it literally was like the subtitles really did help. But as he's trying to get the crowd pumped and everything, out comes Drake and James R. Kennedy. Now, once again, we at home know, and I would think the rest of the WCPW universe knows, that there's a tag match coming up. And yet, Cornette and Striker were just like, what's going on? What are they doing out here? And I'm like, really? Is it not on your program? So they come out, and Kennedy is wearing this ridiculous, like, one-piece spandex butler outfit. It's insane. Like, that's his wrestling gear, apparently. But he's wearing this thing. He comes out, and of course they start running their mouth to Blompier, but then out comes Prospect to the biggest pop of Prospect's life. Like, seriously, I have never seen a crowd so jacked for Prospect. I was so happy. I was so proud of him. And I was like, yes. So Prospect comes out. And here's what I literally hear from Matt Striker. Oh, well, I guess Kennedy's going to wrestle then. Really? I guess Kennedy is going to wrestle then? What the fuck? Does no one know what's going on here? Freaking sane. Oh my god. That's why their microphones mess up over there. They drop them like that. I was like, well, he's going to wrestle. This has been booked. This has been the major storyline going into State of Emergency. This actually has more storyline built into it than the actual main event, which really has next to none. Yeah, he was shocked. He was thrown off. He was there for most of that build-up. That's the thing that really irritates me. I was just like, what the fuck? I would almost expect it out of Cornette. And that's another thing, dude, Cornette. I thought he was going to be like the manager in the match, but it turns out he wasn't. He was just going to be the commentator throughout. But he just fronts the money, I guess, for those little skits they did. But still, yeah, and even he was just kind of like, oh, here we go. And I was like, I don't know, it just seemed very like they didn't have any information for anything. I don't know, it was odd. I'm just saying, I mean, I don't know, maybe Shane and Bradshaw could have ran into the same problems. I don't know. I just doubt it. But anyways, misinformation aside, once again, I don't know, maybe they should have been fed this stuff. Like, literally, I don't know who normally takes care of that. And if that's the case, someone in the back needs to be blamed, because, like, really? You need to inform your guys out there what's going on. So anyways, we get our match. It's Drake and James R. Kennedy versus Prospect. And it's basically a handicap match. Like, they just beat the shit out of Drake for the most part. And it's fun because, like, Drake keeps going for the tag, and Kennedy's like, I'm not getting in there. Fuck you. He eventually does get in there at one point to kind of stomp, and then he gets caught quickly and makes his way out. So for the most part, it's Prospect beating up Drake. At one point, Drake does kind of get the upper hand, but it doesn't last too long. Anyways, Kennedy gets tagged in, and of course at this point, Drake's knocked out. Prospect's just ready to go. They're ready for their revenge, and of course, James R. Kennedy jumps out, goes to get out of there, and Cornette blasts him with the racket. I marked out, I creamed my pants. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I creamed my pants, had to change them, and then there's excess cream, and it just messed up my second pair of pants. I had to wear 3 different pairs of pants. It's insane. It's really insane, but it was the greatest moment ever. Like, Cornette gets up, just racks him with the racket, tosses his ass back in there, and then of course referee doesn't see shit, which I thought was great, because like the crowd's chanting Cornette. I'm just like, kayfabe-wise, the referee was like, what are you chanting Cornette for? I had my back turned this whole time. Surely their commentator didn't get up and do something. Awesome. Anyways, Drake does come back for a minute. We do get to see Alex Gracie drop his drawers, and he has his picture on his underwear. We've seen this before. And of course, he kind of does the stink face, kiss his ass kind of thing with both Kennedy and Drake, which was awesome. However, in the end, they end up beating, Prospect ends up beating Kennedy and Drake, pinning Kennedy. Awesome, awesome moment. And then, of course, they go through the crowd happy. Oh, it was great. It was a great fucking moment. Good stuff. Oh, we'll say this. This is another thing. Halfway through the match, Matt Striker calls Lucas Archer Liam Archer. That happened. Yep. Okay, so up next, we got the DDT Iron Man title match between Primate and Joey Ryan. For those who don't know, DDT Iron Man title, it's almost like the hardcore title back when it had the 24/7 rule. I remember like hearing crazy article or reading crazy articles about this where like it's a goofy title over in Japan, and like literally everybody has held it. Anybody can hold it. Fans have held it. In fact, they've actually had like an entire capacity crowd hold the title once. That was literally a thing. They all dogpiled, or a few of them dogpiled the wrestler. I think it was Joey Ryan, or either Ryan or maybe Omega held it. Either way, it didn't matter. They dogpiled somebody. They won. So then when he's in the ring, and of course the crowd is surrounding the ring, like they're actually up on the ringside. He's like, guys, give yourself a hand. He starts like banging on the thing, and of course everybody starts banging on the apron, and of course he's like, oh, referee, they're tapping out, and he gets his title back. It's one of those combos. It's a goofy kind of whatever belt. Inanimate objects have held it. We'll see that later on tonight as well. So that's the kind of title you're going to do. This is like one of the few times I actually had some knowledge on like another title coming in. I was like, all right. Daniel knows something. So anyways, this match goes on, and Joey Ryan, I don't know much about Joey Ryan except for the dick spot. That's it. It's all I know about this guy. I've seen him do a couple interviews, but he was never in character. Like, he was definitely breaking kayfabe. But then, of course, they had one of the Reloadeds where Cody Rhodes fought... he fought somebody, and he was defending the internet title. And anyways, Joey Ryan kind of came out during that match. So that's the only exposure I ever had to Joey Ryan. He definitely has a sleazy thing. Like, I felt dirty just watching him. That's how sleazy this guy is. It was interesting because if you guys listen to Jim Cornette's podcast, like, he hates Joey Ryan, and I was really interested to see how this goes. But you know, Cornette's a professional, and he definitely he expressed he didn't care for the guy, but at the same time he kept professional and he kept the commentary going. Here's the thing now, and I'm really glad. I'm not gonna lie. This is probably why I'm super cool with Cornette as a commentator, is I feel like he shares my sentiment when it comes to this goofy fucking comedic matches. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with comedy matches at times. Like I said, I love Prospect. That last match was great, and it was definitely a comedy match. It has to make sense, and I feel like in the world of wrestling, there shouldn't be a whole lot of comedy going on. Here's a good example. If it fits the character, fine. When Prospect does it, like when it was Los Perspectivas versus Prospect in the Adam Pacitti Invitational Tournament, or what the fuck it was called, that made sense. Alright, you can have as much goofiness as you want, because it was them trying to scheme and pull the wool over everybody's eyes, even though everybody knew what the fuck was going on. Here, Joey Ryan's doing his goofy, I'm putting lollipops in people's mouths and referring to my dick and rubbing oil on myself and just doing weird, bizarre sleaziness. Primate's a fucking killer. And in fact, he has killed 2 people on WCPW TV. Like, that's a fact. That happened. He straight up murdered 2 people in a room. Their bodies were never found. That's why he was never convicted. And he's a fucking monster. And he's playing along with him. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, just choke his ass out. Like, seriously, as soon as he's like rubbing oil on, I was like, touch my dick, I'm like, dude, Primate should just like fucking put his thumbs right in his fucking eyes and then squeeze, and then fucking just start bashing away, eat him, and then spit it out. Like, that's the only comedy I want, is like when he goes to bite him, he spits it out because he's like, ugh, baby oil, and then he goes back to just fucking destroying him. That's all the comedy I want to see. But Primate played along, and I was like, oh my god, it was embarrassing. I'm not gonna lie, I was embarrassed. The match itself wasn't bad. When they actually started wrestling, it wasn't bad. I'm gonna kind of cheat when I do my worst match of the night, and you'll see when that comes. But anyway, so we had way too much comedy tonight. That will be when I do the end. When I do my overall, I'm gonna say there was just too much goofy comedy. And once again, though, I guess it's okay because the crowd loved it. Like, the crowd was into every bit of it. So I mean, I guess you give the crowd what they want, and apparently they want goofiness, but just the grandpa inside of me was just like, ugh, wrestle, get into it. And I just love the fact that like Cornette was on my side. He was just like, I can just tell he was the exact same way, so that was kind of cool. Anyway, so Primate, Joey Ryan are fighting the shit out of each other. At one point they end up taking each other down. I think it was double clothesline or something or other. Oh no, they collide and Joey Ryan falls down. He spread eagle, and then of course Primate drops, and of course his head hits his crotch, but because Joey Ryan has a super dick, it pops Primate back up and he flips over. Because, wrestling. So they're both knocked out, right? And then out comes Jack the Jobber. And I was like, oh my god, is that Jack the Jobber? I couldn't tell who it was at first. I was like, hey, that's Jack the fucking Jobber. Jack Jobber runs out there. And of course, because it's the 24/7 rule, the DDT Iron Man title, he rolls up on Joey Ryan, and boom, 1, 2, 3, Jack the Jobber wins the DDT Iron Man title. And he leaves. Boom. match is over, or did you think? But no, the singles match now between Joey Ryan and Primate continue with no title now on the line. But Jack Jobber gets out of there. So anyways, Primate, Joey Ryan continue to wrestle. Primate eventually hits a spear. 1, 2, 3. Primate wins, but unfortunately no title. So Primate skedaddles out there, and of course Joey Ryan is realizing, and that's what I thought was kind of weird. I think they maybe even mentioned this on commentary, but like Joey Ryan, like, you know, he's unconscious when he got pinned by Jack Jobber, just kind of like, I remember Jack Jobber pinned me for my title. It's like, wouldn't you just thought Primate beat you for a title? But apparently he didn't. Either way, he goes back to her, and I guess Jack Jobber's just hanging out by ringside. Like, he wins his title, he's like, I'm gonna hang out right here by the entranceway because that's how awesome I am. Joey Ryan grabs him, brings him back into the ring. Jobber freaks out. He's like, here, just pin me. He submits, just like lay down. 1, 2, 3. Joey Ryan wins the title back. So he exits, or Jack Jobber exits the ring, and of course, as Joey Ryan is celebrating, I guess, Joe Hendry comes up to the crowd and beats the fucking shit out of him, and I loved it. Hits him with the freak of nature. 1, 2, 3. Joe Hendry, the new DDT Iron Man champion, gets on the microphone, and it's unfortunate that the microphones were cut because this was an awesome promo. He's like, this is what's wrong with wrestling. I agree. And he was just going on about how this is garbage. Goes back, finds a trash can, comes back, and throws the DDT title into the trash can. Gets rid of that goofiness, and I fucking popped. I was like, yes, finally. So anyways, Hendry turns his attention to Matt Striker. Apparently this match wasn't supposed to happen until later on, but he goes him into having the match early. Striker gets up, and of course, awesome promo by Striker as well. They were just kind of cutting in on each other. It was really good stuff. And then Striker announces his replacement for commentary while he's having the match, and of course he calls out King Ross. King Ross comes out, takes his spot. King Ross, like I said, as arrogant and cocky as he is on WTF, dude, you can just tell, dude, he was probably nervous as shit out there. He's sitting next to Cornette trying to call a match, and yeah, I feel like he could do great. But it's just like, you just threw him right out there into that thing. I really think they should they haven't done Reloaded in a long time, and I still stand by they need to bring back Reloaded and have Ross on that. Getting better at commentating. And put him in there with, like, you know, Shane and Bradshaw. Let him, you know, work off of them a little bit. Getting better, and then, you know, he wouldn't be so bad as sometimes he does. And once again, I'm not saying like he was, because once again, I couldn't do any better. I'd be even more nervous because you're next to the fucking legend, Cornette. But, you know, he's out there, and but, you know, it is what it is, and he did his best. It was just funny because, like, you can just tell there's a lot of blank spots. You can just tell Cornette's like, well, go ahead, Ross, jump in there, and it's just like, oh, wow. And he had nothing. It was, he was voted by you guys as commentator of the year. Not on this show, but the WCPW, because on this show is Alex Shane. We all know who the real commentator of the year is. But, you know, the What Culture crowd voted for him and did not hold on to that crown too much. I really hope the next WTF moments he relinquishes that trophy he's always walking around with. So anyway, Striker going up against Joe Hendry. And yeah, this match actually really surprised me. Thing is, like, I do remember Matt Striker. Like, I was actually watching wrestling at the time when he was wrestling, but he was never anything above like low card jobber really, because whenever he's a wrestler, he got stomped every time, and then he kind of more transitioned to a manager role. So I mean, it was like, if you're going now, once again, I'm not saying take nothing away from his in-ring ability, because once again, I mean, even if you're a jobber, it means you still got the skills to go in there and put on a hell of a match. It's just kayfabe wise, you're nothing more than just down here on the card. And so I just thought it was really like odd, like he was just kind of like a jobber in WWE, but now he's gonna be like a big star over here. I was like, no, I don't want to see that. Like, I don't want to see him run through or he give a competitive match to Hendry, and I was glad the match ended up like it did. Starts off, it was more wrestling based, and Striker was definitely putting on his amateur skills and doing really good with Hendry. However, as soon as it kind of got out of that, Hendry just stomps him, and it was pretty much a squash. Like, literally beat him down, freaking nature, 1, 2, 3, Hendry wins. And it was kind of a quick match, but once again, I was glad, because I was like, hey, Hendry shut him down. You know, that's a win over someone who's actually established in the wrestling world. I just blanked on a word. What the fuck? Regardless of what status he has on an overall wrestling card or where you see him at, but once again, he beat him, and it was quick fashion, and I like that. Because once again, Stryker, regardless, I mean, whatever, he's a commentator. He still commentates. He don't know how much wrestling he does anymore. So yeah, he makes short work of him, and I was happy about that. Other thing kind of irritating about that match was Stryker's wearing a Lucha Underground t-shirt. Now I get it, because he works for Lucha Underground, but I'm like, bro, you're in WCPW right now. Should you not be wearing a State of Emergency t-shirt? Just saying. Show a little company pride. Whatever. It's alright. Hendry made short work of you. So, but yeah, so Joe Hendry wins the match. So we cut to backstage. Jack the Jobber is kind of moping around, him and Adam Cleary. And he comes across a trash can. And it has the Iron Man title in it. He's like, oh! And Cleary has a referee t-shirt for some reason. He's like, put the referee shirt on. Put it on. So he puts it on. And he kicks the trash can over, puts his foot on it. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, Jack the Jobber defeats a trash can to become the new champion. And so as he's getting out there, though, he comes across Joey Ryan. And, of course, Ryan makes him get back down. And Ryan pins him because Adam Cleary is still the referee. 1, 2, 3. And Joey Ryan wins back the title. Jack Jobber has a pretty good, impressive run so far. I mean, 2 wins, 2 losses, not bad. I mean, 2-time champion. He's a 2-time champion. Jack the Jobber is a 2-time champion right now. That's fucking impressive. So, but once again, when I rank out all the matches, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to use these quickie little matches so I don't have to actually... Because once again, I think all the matches are really good on this card, aside from comedy stuff that happened here and there. And once again, this is where comedy match works. Like, it works in this situation because Joey Ryan's a sleazy goofball who builds his career around being goofy, and Jack the Jobber's not a wrestler, so when it's goofy like this, I'm all for it. But just so I can, award the my bottom ranked match, I'm giving to probably Jobber Ryan the last match I had, just because I'm like, I don't really want to award to anybody else. So there you go. My bottom ranked match of the night was Jack the Jobber versus Joey Ryan for the Iron Man title. So anyway, but yeah, so Joey Ryan leaves the event with his title. But once again, I love that, because that reminds me of, I forget which WrestleMania it was, but there was a WrestleMania where the hardcore title was switching hands throughout the entire night. It was just like between every match, there was like another backstage skit, and like someone else was getting beaten for the title and everything. I loved it. I thought it was great. So it reminded me of that. So I thought that was kind of cool. So, and then speaking of backstage, we bump into Adam Blampier and Rampage, and of course there's still a little hostility there. Obvious reasons. Once again, I love the fact that just because Blampier's a good guy now, Rampage just isn't like, yeah, forget all about that. You're a good guy now. No, it's like, dude, you fucking made my life a living hell, and you screwed me over. Yeah, I'm still pissed. I don't care what you're saying now. And that's what I love about WCPW. They do keep the realism as far as characters go. So, yeah, just a little moment there where they kind of look at each other, and then, Rampage walks on. Up next, triple threat match. It is David Starr versus Michael Elgin, am I pronouncing that right? Versus Bobby Fish. Here's the other part of the whole, like, no one knows what the fuck's going on, is neither King Rock's still out there because Stryker just got his ass handed to him. King Ross or Cornette, no one knew if it was a triple threat match or a 3-way elimination match. Like, it was literally just like, ugh. And I was like, Ross, you work there, buddy, and you're on the booking committee. How do you not know? It was just a weird, odd thing. And once again, and so the match was initially supposed to be just Fish versus Starr. And once again, it was Elgin versus Primate, and they must have just switched everything up last minute when Ryan showed up, I guess. But either way, triple threat match here, and it was just, one fall to the finish. And this match started off the same way, just really a bunch of goofiness that involved the referee, and I'm just like, what? And then at one point, the referee's like shoving everybody down. And he's a little scrawny dude, and I'm like, once again, I think they even mentioned like he actually did have some in-ring wrestling ability, like he's trained at OVW or whatever. And I was just like, still, yeah, he's a little referee. And Michael Elgin would just rip him in half. Like, seriously, what the fuck? Anyways, but we do a lot of goofy comedy stuff until, I don't know, good 2-3 minutes in, and then it actually picks up and wrestling begins. And once again, I don't want to take points away because, it was a good match after the goofiness was down. But I was thinking to myself, like, in the world of kayfabe, you're out there to compete. That would be like if we're having a championship basketball game, like in the NBA, and they're just doing, like, Harlem Globetrotter stuff. Like, whew. I know it's a competitive basketball game, but look at me! Oh, look at that! Oh, pulling down referees' pants and shit. It's like, dude, this is a championship match. What the fuck are you doing? Goofiness, we'll just goof around. So anyways, yeah, but like I said, the match was really good, and it ended when Bobby Fish pinned David Starr. And I'm not gonna lie, I really like that Michael Elgin. Like, I just thought he had an awesome look to him. He's fucking huge, and I was like, holy shit. I want to see him go over to UK and wrestle in WCPW. Like, I also see him tear people apart. And you know what? Like, I made my prediction with him and Prime Man. I was like, I'm just gonna go with him because he clearly has a lot of star power here in the States, apparently. Now knowing what I know and seeing what I see, I'm like, he could give Prime Man a run for his money. Although he did get pushed down by a scrawny referee, but whatever, it's all goofy wrestling, right? So anyways, Bobby Fish wins his debut, so boom. And he looked impressive too. I like to see more of him too. So, and David Starr, I really like David Starr. I just love his attitude and everything else. I think he's just great. So, sorry. So next we got El Ligero versus Ricochet, and once again we do another 2-minute clown show starting off. And once again, what infuriates me about this is like Legero is on the most ridiculous losing streak right now. And I was talking to somebody, and they were just like, he needs this win because he's gonna pick up momentum going into the Mexican qualifier. And I'm like, he goofs off too much. Like, I'm looking at it from, I try to look at everything from like a kayfabe standpoint. I'm like, I'm sorry if I'm like watching this like legitimately. I'm like, he's too goofy. He's not gonna do shit because he's just like he's clowning around too much. He now officially has a worse win-loss record than Martin Kirby. And that's weird because when WCPW first started out, Legero was like undefeated for fucking ever. Awesome win-loss record. Always high on the list. Kirby was like one of the worst win-loss records. He was just constantly losing, goofing off. And then they just kind of, like as Kirby's coming up, Legero's going down. And now it's like Legero has an embarrassing win-loss record and Kirby has a decent one. There you go. Lose the funny, you make the money. Remember that. So anyways, Legero fighting Ricochet. And once again, once the goofiness subsided, it was a damn good match. Ricochet put on a hell of a clinic. Legero held his own. And at this point now, Striker's back out there. And just little things in this one too. Like, and he goes for that C4 DDT. They didn't know the name of it. And I was like, really? Like, that's his finisher. They don't know the name. Whatever. But anyways, Ricochet ends up picking up the win. And I'm just kind of like, well, there you go, Legero. Quit goofing off in the first 2-3 minutes of your matches. Take it seriously. You may win a match. But anyway, so Ricochet wins it. So there you go. Main event. WCPW World Title on the line. Rampage versus Drew Galloway. And match of the night. This match was... And once again, I think it's just because I was like, where's it going to go? But either way... the match was still solid, and I just love it. I mean, I'm really digging because I know something about these heavyweight matches I love because it's like after watching a lot of goofiness and high flying shit, just two massive brutes beating the shit out of each other. It's a great. It's just I don't know. It resets it all, I think, and I don't know. It's just something great about this match. Galloway, Rampage tearing into each other. Galloway showing some intensity. Like he's always intense, but here just like he cranked it up to 11. Damn good match. And I'm just like. As I'm watching it, I'm going, man, it just feels like if he wasn't going to sign with WWE, I would say Galloway is going to win this. Like it did, he looked great in the ring. To me, just as the match was going on, I was like, dude, I just don't see how Galloway is going to lose this. But he has to lose, right? Because Rampage is staying in WCPW, and Galloway is now Drew McIntyre in NXT. And is that the case? Is he just going to NXT? Like, did he not get to the main roster? Like, did he literally just leave just to go to the lower card thing? Because if that's the case, that's kind of a step down, isn't it? Like, wasn't he on the main roster at one point? Now he's going back to the jobber area? Whatever, though. But anyways, as the match goes on, Galloway picks up the win, successfully retaining his title. And I'm just like, what the fuck? Now, I know this was filmed before his appearance at NXT. Still yet, I'm still like, what the fuck? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, did he even let What Culture people know? Like, ahead of time? Like, hey... just so you know, I'm going to NXT tonight, and I'm signing a contract. I'm sorry. No, did he not? Because if not, that's really douchey on his behalf. Is I don't know. It just and then the weird thing is, like What Culture and WCPW in general are just not talking about this at all, hardly, like at all. A clip, just a what just happened clip, just Blampier. Officially saying his name's General Manager Plumpy and just being like, hey, here's what's happening right now. A huge thing. This is the real superstar shakeup right here. We just lost our champion. We just vacated a spot in our World Cup finals. We're going to have a big battle royal to fill that. And my name's Plumpy now. Boom. I want that video. Where the fuck's that video at? Anyways, but regardless of that weirdness, the match itself, standalone, was great. It was a damn good match. Damn fine way to cap off the event. And that was State of Emergency. Overall, like I said, it was an enjoyable 2 hours plus. I really liked it. Once again, just the grandpa in me is just like, I'm sick of comedy matches. Like, after a while, like, you know, 1 or 2 on a card, and I'm even stretching that. And it has to make sense, but then when you got like Primate clowning around, I'm just like, I'm fucking done. Legero still clowning around. I'm like, even from any standpoint, it just doesn't make sense. Seriously, just like, I'll just keep goofing around. I want to win a title, but I'm goofing around. So I don't know, I know I'm bitter. But the positive, like I said, and then of course the fact that the commentators didn't know what was going on was still kind of a con too. But despite that, I think they did a great job pulling through regardless. Because once again, I'm not blaming them. I think they just didn't have the proper paperwork out there with them. I just felt like What Culture probably dropped the ball on this one, you know. So, but once again, matches were good, commentary was good. You know, main event was phenomenal. And once again, there was a lot of surprises throughout the night. Like I said, I really dug the whole. Once again, I'm cool with that part of the comedy part with the DDT Iron Man title. I thought that was a whole fun storyline right there. The fact that Jack Jobber won twice, I loved. Prospect getting their big win finally. I mean, they look phenomenal. Like, they just keep getting better and better. Like, I really hope they get taken more seriously. And they can still do goofy stuff, but pick up some wins and shit. I want to see that. But yeah, triple threat match was fine. Like I said, everything was good. Like I said, just, you know, a little too much comedy for my taste. And then with the fact that like the ending just kind of threw me off. Like I said, it just makes you wonder, like, did Galloway just not tell anybody, like, oh, by the way, I'm going to NXT. He's going to take the title over with him, just dropping the belt. He's going to Medusa. He's just going to be like, hey, WCPW title, drop it in there. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. But anyways, yeah, there it is. So there is State of Emergency. It's on What Culture Extra right now. If you haven't had a chance to watch it, I urge you check it out. Let me know what you guys thought of the event. If you've watched it, drop that stuff down below. And guys, as always, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Show this video the thumb and love. And of course, my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All that stuff is down below in the comments section. Guys, thank you. Thank you for watching. Like, seriously, I say that. This sounds like I'm just like got this shit on repeat. You have no idea how much it means to me that you guys actually watch this video. Like, I don't know if I can watch myself. Like, who the fuck's this fat fuck in a cheap suit with a microphone that's clearly not even plugged in? Just run his mouth for like 30 minutes at a time. What? Who is this guy? And you guys tune in, and that means the world to me. Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's all I got. Tune in tomorrow. I'll be doing the unofficial top 10. And yeah, that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Until next time.